morning to all the panelists. I'm Domingo Balsado. I'm the leader of Group 2 of Mr. Billy Orteriano Research Class, and we are here to present our thesis entitled The Influential Factors of the Preparedness of Employee of Calcom Precision Incorporated in Santo Tomas, Batangas City during fire outbreak. So, let's proceed to the introduction. So, one of the most dangerous workplace accidents is fire, and its results undoubtedly devastating. In worst-case scenarios, it may be even lead to death. So, the researchers decided to conduct the study in order to determine the preparedness of employees of Calcom Precision Philippines Incorporated in Santo Tomas, Batangas during fire outbreak, to aware any casualties in the middle of a fire, and the employees about to the necessity of being prepared in the case of workplace fire. So let's proceed to the background of the study. So fire is so devastating that it can destroy everything, and in areas with low levels of fire disaster preparedness, the impacts have been severe. The next is the statement of the problem that will be discussed by my group mates.
The statement of the problem. This study aims to investigate the fire safety awareness, preparedness of employee of Calcom Precision Philippines Inc. located at Santo Tomas, Batangas. Number 1. What is the profile of the respondents in terms of age, gender, experience with fire outbreak, experience with fire drill? Second, what is the instinct of respondents' knowledge of firefighting equipment? Number 3, how do respondents perceive their adequacy of firefighting equipment in the building where they are working? Number 4, is their instinct respondents' awareness of the fire safety? Number 5, how do respondents perceive their level of preparedness when there is a fire outbreak on their workplace? Number 6, is there a significant difference between different respondents' level of the preparedness according to the experience during the fire outbreak or fire drill? Is there a significant relationship between respondents' level of preparedness and their A. knowledge level of firefighting equipment, B. perception of adequacy of firefighting equipment, C. under instinct fire safety awareness? Hypothesis H1. There is no significant difference between respondents' level of preparedness during fire outbreak and their experience in fire outbreak and fire drill. H2. There is no significant relationship between respondents' level of preparedness during fire outbreak in firefighting equipment, perception on adequacy of firefighting equipment, and the instinct of the fire safety awareness.
I am Charles G. Bautista, reporting the scope and limitation. The scope of the study was limited to the 50 respondents of Calcom Precision Philippines Inc. into Santo Tomas, Batangas City for first semester school year 2021 to 2022. This study was limited of the profile of the respondents in terms of age, gender, experience with the fire outbreak, experience with fire drill. The extension of respondents' knowledge on the firefighting equipment. Respondents perceive the adequacy of firefighting equipment in the building where they are working, the extent of respondents' awareness on the fire safety. Respondents perceive their level on preparedness when there is a fire outbreak in their workplace.
The significance of the study. So, the significance of the study. So, it is the written statement that explain why our research was needed. So, it's a justifications of the importance of our work and impact. So, and it has in our research field. So, its contributions to new knowledge and how other will benefit from it. So, this research will be outstanding contributions to knowledge on the influential factors on the preparedness of employees of Capcom Precision's Philippine Incorporations, so company during the fire outbreak. So furthermore, so the results of this study will be significant and beneficial to the following. So first beneficiaries is the Bureau of Fire Protections, so BFP. So this will assist the Bureau of Fire Protections in determining whether their policy is truly beneficial, allowing them to improve the current regulations. So next beneficiaries is the PMS administration. So this research will assist the PMS administrations in determining the knowledge and capability of students in conducting research. So next is the respondents. So this study will aid them in being prepared in the event. So of the workpiece, so in fire, and so they will know what to do in the event of the fire at work and will able to get outside safety. So next beneficiaries is the students. So this study will give the students more insights into the influential factors on how will the company of the Calcom Precisions, so Philippine Incorporations, so company is prepared during the fire outbreaks. So next beneficiaries is the teachers. So this study will also be beneficial to the teacher, especially those to the new to these professions. So they will be able to use this research as their materials while teaching the topics. So next beneficiaries is the researchers. So this study will be significant in finding answers to the questions of the researchers' mind and help them finish the task given to them by their instructors. So next beneficiaries is the future researchers. So this study will serve the future researchers as their reference and guide to further develop the research with the connections to the used variables.
Chapter 2, Review of Related Literatures and Studies. In our study, there are related literature and related studies. One of our related literature, an article written by Daniels M., which about to express that each business should have a designated responsible person for the purpose of the study should regularly undertake and review a fire assessment of the business premises. This should take into account fire hazards, fuel ignition, and oxygen, people location around the premises, risk of a fire, and risk to people, fire hazard, and obstacles for a fast and smooth evacuation. And our other related literature, written by Mayuga 2018, which about thousands of lives and billions in property are lost every year in Philippines as a result of apparently unavoidable fires, which are sometimes caused by negligence, and adapted toward the applications. And in our two related study is written by Per Oliver G. 2020, which is about it was found out that fire prevention programs and education are an important part of keeping a community safe. Next, written by Solano Gabriel G. 2019, proclaimed that every building, a structure new or old, designated for human occupancy should be provided with access sufficient to permit the fast and safe escape of occupants in case of fire and other emergencies.
So moving on to the chapter 3, which is the methods and procedures, where in this chapter, we are going to present the research design, respondents of the study, sampling technique used, research instruments, data gathering procedure, and statistical treatment of data. First is the research design. In this study, we the researchers made use of descriptive and correlation method. Descriptive design is used because it focuses at the present condition in which the purpose is to find the new truth, while correlation method is also used because it studies the relationship between two variables with the help of statistical analysis. For the respondents of the study, we selected 50 employees of Calcom Precision Philippines Incorporated that is located in Santo Tomas, Batangas City. And for the sampling technique used, we made use of purposive sampling under non-probability that people can be selected deliberately because their views are relevant to the issue concerned. However, the drawback of the technique is its subjectively to view of selected criteria may change over the duration of research. For the research instrument, in this research, a survey questionnaire was the primary research instrument used. The said questionnaire was prepared by the research department and was checked and validated by the faculty members who were teaching research courses in the Philippine Merchant Marine School, Las Piñas City during the first semester, school year 2021-2022. The said survey questionnaire was divided into 5 categories. First is the respondents' demographic profile in terms of age, gender, and employment. Second is the extent of respondents' knowledge on firefighting equipment. Third is respondents perceive the adequacy of firefighting equipment in the building where they are working. Fourth is the extent of the respondents' awareness on fire safety. Fifth is the respondents perceived their level of preparedness when there is a fire outbreak in their workplace. The aforementioned questionnaire is vital in the study as it served as the main research instrument.
Chapter 3, Number 4, Data Gathering Procedure. First, the researchers ask permission from the respondent's company using the permission letter to conduct study provided by researchers professors. After acquiring the approval from the company's manager, the researchers reproduce enough copy of survey questionnaire that they were going to use for the survey. Thereafter, the researchers distribute the survey questionnaires to the employees of Calcom Precision Philippines Incorporation, located in Santo Tomas, Batangas, and gave them sufficient time to answer. Afterwards, the researchers retrieved the gathered data for the tabulation and interpretation of data.
Statistical treatment of data. The gathered data were tabulated, analyzed, and interpreted within the framework of the study, scope, and problems with the aid of IBM statistical package for social sciences software in analyzing and interpreting the tabulated data. The following statistical instrument were used is the frequency distribution, percentage analysis, mean, mode, t-test for independent, samples, person R, standard deviation, Likert scale, strength of correlations, and Cronbach's alpha.
Chapter 5. Summary of findings. The salient findings in the study include the following. Number 2. Respondents' profile. Age. The majority of respondents are 22 to 28 years old with frequency of 24 or 55%. It is followed by several respondents who are 29 to 35 years old, 43 to 49 years old, and 50 to 56 years old, with frequencies of 10, 5, and 4. Also 1, respectively. Gender. Out of 44 respondents, 8 or 18% are male and 3 or 82% are female. Letter G. Experience of fire outbreak. The majority of respondents have not experienced, witnessed a fire outbreak with frequencies of 24 or 54.5%. There are only 20 or 45.5% respondents who have experienced or witnessed a fire outbreak. Letter H. Experience with fire drill. The majority of respondents have experienced a fire drill with frequency of 36 or 82%. There is only few respondents who have not experienced or witnessed a fire outbreak with a frequency of 8 or 18%. Number 8. For respondents' knowledge to operate firefighting equipment. In general, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are somewhat knowledgeable with firefighting equipment with average weighted mean of 1.67 and standard deviation of 0.85. With the rating ranging from 1.57 to 2 and standard deviation ranging from 0.79 to 0.96, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are somewhat knowledgeable in operating dry chemical extinguisher, carbon dioxide fire extinguisher, fire hydrants, hose reels, and foam cylinders. With lower rating 1.45 and standard deviation of 0.79, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are not knowledgeable in operating foam cylinder. However, majority of respondents are somewhat or not knowledgeable about operation of firefighting equipment. Number 9. For respondents' perception on the adequacy of firefighting equipment. Number 10. For respondents' perception on the adequacy of firefighting equipment. With much lower rating ranging from 2.23 to 2.32 and the same standard deviation of 1.03. Respondents perceive heterogeneously that dry rises from fire blankets are not adequate. However, several respondents perceive that some firefighting equipment are not available or not adequate. Number 11. For respondents' perception on fire safety awareness. In general, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are much aware about fire safety and average weighted mean of 3.56 and standard deviation of 0.70. With the rating ranging from 3.66 to 3.66 and standard deviation ranging from 0.50 to 0.64, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are very aware that the buildings that they are working has existing fire exits. There are signage indicating exit routes in case of emergency. The building that they are working has a fire evacuation plan, designated location to meet outside the building in case of fire. Smoke alarms are also installed to provide early detection and warning so you will have enough time to execute your evacuation plan. And there is a procedure to inform occupants to remain outside until notified by the fire department that it is safer to re-enter the building. With lower rating ranging from 2.86 to 3.48, the standard deviation of 0.70 to 1.29, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are aware that there is a mastering is conducted to verify everyone has escaped the building. The occupants are aware of the location of existing firefighting equipments, and the occupants are aware of the location of keys of the evacuation doors. However, there are some respondents who are not aware to moderately aware about fire safety. Number 12. For respondents' perception on preparedness, readiness during fire outbreak. In general, that respondents perceive homogeneously that they are prepared, ready to act during fire outbreak, with average weighted mean 2.78 and standard deviation of 0.88. With the rating ranging from 2.84 to 3.18, the standard deviation of 0.83 to 0.99. Table 8 specifically shows that respondents perceive homogeneously that they are prepared or ready during fire outbreak. To raise an alarm and call for emergency response team. Pack all my belongings before evacuating the building. On hearing a fire alarm, and activate the closest fire alarm system. Likewise, they are prepared to leave the escape routes unobstructed for easy flow of people and bring the most important documents from my workplace during the fire outbreak. Call emergency numbers in the event of fire outbreak and turn off any hazardous machinery. With lower rating from 1.86 to 3.44 and standard deviation of 0.88 to 0.90, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are somewhat prepared during fire outbreak to take the injured to the emergency care in a hospital immediately or call for an ambulance, apply first aid to the victim of the fire accident, and provide CPRs using chest compressions and mouth-to-mouth breathing in case of emergency. However, there are several respondents who are unprepared or not ready during fire outbreak with the frequency of 1 to 17. Number 13. For respondents' level of preparedness during fire outbreak according to their experience in fire outbreak and fire drill. For the comparative analysis on the respondents' level of preparedness according to their experience during fire outbreak, Group 1 who witnessed a fire outbreak are prepared or ready during fire outbreak with average weighted mean of 2.96 and standard deviation of 0.63, while Group 2 does not have experienced a fire outbreak is also prepared or ready for during fire disaster with average weighted mean of 2.64 and standard deviation of 0.59. However, with a t-value of 1.68 degrees of freedom of 42 and probability level of 0.099, there is no significant difference between the level of preparedness or readiness of employees who have experienced or witnessed a fire outbreak and those do not have experienced or witnessed these scenarios, since their level of probability is greater than 0.05. For the comparative analysis on the respondents' level of preparedness according to their experience in joining a fire drill, Group 1 who experienced joining or witnessed a fire drill are prepared or ready during a fire outbreak with an average weighted mean of 2.79 and standard deviation of 0.63, while Group 2 who does not have experience joining a fire drill is also prepared already during fire disaster with average weighted mean of 2.60 and standard deviation of 0.56. However, with a t-value of 0.29 degrees of freedom of 42 and probability level of 0.77, there is no significant difference between the levels of preparedness or readiness of employees who does not have experience joining or witness a fire drill, and those do not have experience or witness this fire-related activity since their level of probability is greater than 0.05. Number 14. For the correlates of respondents' preparedness or readiness during fire outbreak, at 0.05 level of significance at two-tailed test, the respondents' knowledge to operate firefighting equipments are R 0.47, P is equals to 0.001, and fire safety awareness is equals to R is equals to 0.56 and P is equals to 0. Have strong positive significant relationship with respondents' preparedness or readiness during fire outbreak since their p-value is less than 0.05. However, adequacy of firefighting equipment R is equals to 0.17 and P is equals to 24. Have not significant relationship with respondents' preparedness or readiness during fire outbreak since their p-value is greater than 0.05.
Chapter 5 Conclusions. Based on our foregoing summary of findings, the following conclusions are drawn. Number 1. For respondents' profile, the majority of respondents are 22 to 28 years old with frequency of 24 or 55%, and the least is 50 to 56 with frequency 1 out of 44 respondents, 8 or 18% are male, and 36 or 82% are female. The majority of respondents have experienced a fire drill with a frequency of 36 or 82%. However, the majority of them have not witnessed a fire outbreak. Number 2. For respondents' knowledge to operate firefighting equipment, in general, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are somewhat knowledgeable with firefighting equipment. Majority of them are somewhat or not knowledgeable about the operation of firefighting equipment. Number 3. For respondents' perception on the adequacy of firefighting equipment, in general, respondents perceive homogeneously that the firefighting equipment is adequate. However, the several respondents perceive some firefighting equipment are not available or not adequate. Number 4. For respondents' perception on fire safety awareness. In general, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are very much aware about fire safety. However, there are some respondents who are not aware or moderately aware about fire safety. Number 5. For respondents' perception on preparedness, readiness during fire outbreak. In general, respondents perceive homogeneously that they are prepared or ready to act during fire outbreak. However, there are several respondents who are unprepared or not ready during fire outbreak. Number 6. For respondents' level of preparedness during fire outbreak according to their experience in fire outbreak and fire drill. There is no significant difference between the levels of preparedness and readiness of Group 1 employees who have experienced or witnesses a fire outbreak and Group 2 employees who have not experienced or witnesses these scenarios. There is no significant difference between the levels of preparedness and readiness of employees who have experienced joining and witnesses a fire drill and those who have not experienced and witnesses these fire-related activities since their level of probability is greater than 0.05. And last, number 7, for the correlates of respondents, preparedness and readiness during fire outbreak. Except for the adequacy of firefighting equipment, respondents' knowledge to operate firefighting equipment and fire safety awareness have strong positive significant relationship with respondents' preparedness and readiness during fire outbreak.
Based on the summary of findings and conclusions thereon, the following are the recommendations. First, since findings reveal that respondents are somewhat knowledgeable with firefighting equipment but majority of them are somewhat or not knowledgeable about the operation of firefighting equipment, we, the researchers, recommend that there should be a meeting where we can discuss what we need to know about firefighting equipment operation. Because it is preferable if the majority of people are aware of it and are prepared for it. Number 2. Since findings reveal that firefighting equipment is adequate, but several respondents perceive that some firefighting equipment are not available or not adequate, we, the researchers, recommend that they should be aware of what can be utilized as a substitute for a firefighting object when one is inadequate. Third, since findings reveal that the respondents are very much aware about the fire safety, but there are some respondents who are not aware or moderately aware about fire safety, we, the researchers, recommend that the Bureau of Fire Protection and the PMMS administration should educate everyone more, especially if it is for safety purposes. Because they must always be prepared, ensure greater safety, and know what to do in the event of a fire. The fourth recommendation is, since findings reveal that respondents are prepared or ready to act during fire outbreak, but there are several respondents who are unprepared and not ready during fire outbreak, we, the researchers, recommend that every month the company must perform a fire drill so that all of its employees are prepared in the event of a fire in the place where they work. As a result, they will be better prepared in the event of a fire, and those who are not prepared will also be ready and know what to do. Fifth, since findings reveal that there is no significant difference between the levels of preparedness or readiness of Group 1 employees who have experienced or witnessed a fire outbreak and Group 2 employees who have not experienced or witnessed these scenarios, we, the researchers, recommend that the company must create disaster risk reduction or DDR committee to educate or provide trainings to support the preparedness of the employees. The fire safety measures for prevention, such as exit, evacuation routes, should be visible to employees. Preventive inspection and maintenance should be done on schedule. Sixth, since findings reveal that there is no significant difference between the levels of preparedness of employees who have experienced joining or witnessed a fire drill and those who have not experienced or witnessed these fire-related activities, we, the researchers, recommend that regularly conduct drills and educate employees for their awareness. A common cause of fire is human error, negligence perhaps, accidental mishaps, or lack of safety training. 7. Since findings reveal that respondents' knowledge to operate firefighting equipment and fire safety awareness have strong positive significant relationship with respondents' preparedness or readiness during fire outbreak, we, the researchers, recommend that the company must educate staff members on the cause of fire, train them how to use fire extinguishers, encourage vigilance and a daily fire safety prevention routine, and hold regularly safety training sessions. They must ensure that the staff is properly trained on fire prevention and safety measures. Also, urge employees to report any potential fire hazards right away. Lastly, based on the findings and conclusion of the study, here are several recommendations to be considered. Number 1. Fire represents a severe hazard significant threat to life, structure, property, and environmental safety. Number 2. Current fire protection measure leads to an unquantified level of fire safety in buildings, provide minimal strategies to mitigate fire hazards, and do not account for contemporary fire hazard issues. Number 3. Implementing key measures that include improving fire protection features in buildings, proper regulation and enforcement of building code provisions, enhancing employees' awareness, and proper use of technology and resources are key to mitigating fire hazard in buildings. Number 4. Major research and training is required to improve fire safety in buildings, including developing cost-effective fire suppression systems, rational fire design approaches, characterizing new materials. The cooperation between employees in the management of fire awareness and safety measure must be established. That's all. Thank you.